Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. We are so excited to have you here. We have been really focused on making sure we're providing resources for our IMG team. I have my co-host here, Allison, who is the president, and I am the vice president. And we're so excited to share a lot of the changes that has been happening with the EM world at this time. And one of them you may know leading up to the new cycle is that the emergency medicine sector has decided to move from ERAS now to ResidencyCAS. So this is a big jump for us. We're going to get into all of the details, what you need to know, especially as an IMG, what changes are going to be affecting you. And we also have a wonderful PowerPoint that will be linked on our website where you can go ahead and find further resources as well. So we're excited. Allison, what is ResidencyCAS?
ResidencyCAS, I'm just going to pull up the resource right now. So this is the new application process. This is where you would potentially log in after you receive, just like the ERAS application, you get a token or permission from your medical school or from ECFMG, obviously, if you're an international medical graduate. Okay, what's really good about this website is that it does have a quick guide, and it has a quick guide of what is all about, even a video to help you get kind of instituted into it and ready to go, even worksheets available to you. The reason why they really got into doing this application and doing it separately is for two things, is that they were a lot of residency programs were getting a vast amount of applications. They weren't, because of the number of applications each program was receiving, it was hard to give a holistic review of the applications and then also be able to see what the strengths of the applicants were. So this was kind of a new step to go the same as OB-GYN had gone in order to use a system that is more straight line, easier for the programs to also complete data to see how many applicants have applied overall to EM instead of getting all of this data and information after the match, say in April. It doesn't really do the programs any justice or any help at that time.
Absolutely. Yeah, and this is just a wonderful guide as well, as explained already. But I want to know what do you feel about this? Do you feel like this is a good change, a bad change?
If it lives up to its hype, I think this will be an extremely good chance and good change for especially IMGs. The reason why I say that is twofold. The first is that if it promises to give a more holistic review, then that's for the benefit of an international medical graduate, regardless if you're US or you're a non-US citizen. The second thing I think will really be beneficial is that applicants, especially international medical graduates, they tend to apply to more than one specialty. So with emergency medicine separate, now through ResidencyCAS, they can also do the ERAS application, but have that more tailored towards potentially a second specialty like family medicine, or it could be preliminary or surgery, or even internal medicine. So that way, your defining characteristics that you put there don't have to be just generally neutral. You can have them very specific and focused for family medicine, whereas before, emergency and family medicine was together. So then that way you had to kind of tailor it just to medicine in general because you didn't want to look, your application didn't want to look too heavy in emergency medicine or too heavy in family medicine. So you kind of had to mold the two together. Whereas this, you would have two separate applications completely, one 100% dedicated to emergency medicine, and then you could have a second application on ERAS with 100% dedication to family. So that I believe in my personal experience, not experience, but my belief is that it is to the benefit for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good change. At first, I was a little nervous to hear about it because you just don't know. That can already be an anxiety-provoking time to apply for a match. And then now to know that you have to use a whole new system that's not ERA, something that you have got like a preview to if you had an upperclassman that would just tell you how to go through the portal. But now that this is the route that emergency medicine has taken, it isn't something additional to learn, but I do see just going through the tutorials and some of the application stuff, it looks as if everything is a one-stop shop which is a great change from thalamus. Thalamus was something separate or with ERAS.
Right.
So
That's
now
great.
ResidencyCAS, you can do the interviews there, you can communicate there. It's all in one go, and it seems to be a bit cheaper. So I think this is actually going to be a very positive change for EM.
That's right. So included in our kind of slides, the PowerPoint presentation that we'll have on the website as well, it will kind of give you some resources, some links in regards to different resources, and then the cost. So the cost has actually gone down. So that is definitely beneficial for a lot of applicants.
Absolutely. I guess one of the questions we could kind of tackle would be, how do you obtain like a token, especially if you're an IMG? The token was something for ERAS, but now there's a form for residency CAS. So can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so my understanding, based on all the resources available online, is that you actually need to contact or visit ECFMG. And then if ECFMG is, there's a portion that you would fill out the residency application support form and pay an associated fee. And then once that form is received and processed, like it says here, ECFMG will contact and be able to pretty much give you or gain access or key code or what have you for a residency cast. Okay. I don't know if, oh, see, that page is not looking. So maybe that's an old link. So we will look for something that has been updated and make sure that we have it updated for you guys on our PowerPoint presentation. Shantae, have you had an experience of trying to fill out this application form as of yet?
No, I have not. But what I did look at through the link that was there, it looks as if you're filling out a form and then ECFMG, I guess, contacts your medical school. From there, they go ahead and approve it. Whereas with a token, it was just you go on ERAS, you pay, I think, $165. I think that price is parallel to this form as well. You would just pay that price, and then you'd have the token. But I think there has to be an approval sector with your medical school. Don't quote me, but you do fill out a bit more, your name, your address. It's a actual form. And then from there, you will have access now to the portal.
And the reason for this form is because it is a different system that's not completely aligned up with obviously ECFMG, is one that if somebody that is gaining access to residency CAS is one has either graduated from a medical school that is recognized in the World Health Dictionary, the World Medical Dictionary, just like ECFMG certifies you eventually, and two, or you're going to be graduating by the time you start residency. Right. So those are the things that need to be verified, obviously, in order to gain the access and have that for residency CAS so that you're one, you're not applying off cycle, or two, in advance, that you're not going to be graduated school and be able to obtain ECFMG certification prior to starting residency. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. I know something that we probably will get questions on is our timeline. So you mentioned getting access, and access, I believe, opened up, I believe, June 25th of this month. So that's
That's
something
right.
that,
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
for a lot of, there's a timeline right here, and this is included in our webinar, our
Yeah,
sorry, our PowerPoint. But just to give you guys all an idea that it is as of June 4th, that is when everybody within the United States, so the US medical schools gained access. For IMGs, we don't gain access until the 25th. That was just something different. And for some reason, ResidencyCAS just didn't have it on this guideline either as far as that. So those are the big two dates. I guess the next one, Shantae, that would be really is that applications can be submitted. So you have until June, from June 25th all the way till September 3rd to kind of upload all of your documents, request your standard letters of evaluation, have your school update your MSPE, all the same things exactly as ERAS, like you would do
yes.
now just in the residency CAS, and you have until September 3rd in order to do all of the components of your application. So you can do a little bit at a time, you can do it all at the same time, you can go back multiple times in order to revise and revision it. But as of the 3rd, after you have from the 3rd to the 24th of September to completely submit. So
Right.
once you hit that submit button, there's no going back. So you can't make any changes or anything going forward from there.
Yes, and then programs don't see this until October 1st. That's when they'll be
Right.
able to revise everything, which I think that's a little bit later than his timeline. That's something
That's
new
right.
as well.
Yeah, usually ERAS technically or traditionally has been the last week of September is when they gain access. So it is something like that. From what I've been told from previous webinars and EMRA's documentation that they've sent out on behalf of this change for ResidencyCAS, a lot of them are actually saying that they will have still a dedicated rollout date where they tend to have the interview invites going out. However, just like before past seasons, that some programs will adhere to that and some programs will kind of do their own thing, right? Watch out for any, as of October 1st, any interview invites can be coming through.
Exactly. So another aspect would be cost, right? This, I think, is the most important thing, and we're going to show that to you via our PowerPoint. But cost is a huge aspect, and to hear that the cost has decreased for residency CAS definitely is very helpful in contrast to the amount that you would pay for a couple programs. That was also a very good positive note. I think we even had a calculator as well, Allison, that could kind of show if
Yeah,
you
there
applied to
is.
this many programs. Just give us a second to bring that up.
Yeah, so here's something right now. So it's showing you like before. So the
Perfect.
first 1 to 18 is $99 in total. And then 19 to 30 programs, you probably two are 18 each. And then 31 plus onwards program, you're looking at 23. Whereas before the 31 plus programs with my e was $30 per program. So it has gone down quite a bit.
Yes. And if you
And
could see there, it says
there's the
application calculator. Yeah.
yeah, so the application,
Oh,
oh,
it's
it's
not
not coming
coming
up.
up.
So we'll contact them to let them know that it has
Yeah,
been uploaded as far as that, and we'll have it updated on our website for everyone.
exactly. But yeah, even down to the first 18 to know that you can only just pay 100 and you at least have 18 programs to apply to is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, exactly. It is a very good overview of what you can do. There's still signals involved with the emergency medicine application. There's still the 10 noteworthy experiences that you have. In my experience of going through the match last year, I would highly say that pick things that you think are meaningful for you and make you who you are. Okay, it doesn't have to be all medicine focused. It could be volunteer work. It can be something that you've done previously before within your community. All those types of things are looked at on your application with very heavily, and even potentially work experience. It doesn't have to be in the medical field. It could be customer service or it could be any type of call center work. All of those potentially do give you skills that can be transferable to medicine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now we're going to transition in talking about the e-slow and the LOS and the formal request through residency CAS. Do you want to speak on that, Allison?
You got it. So it's quite similar to the application process on my ERAS. Okay, so you need to start early. So I would highly recommend everybody as of June 25th, regardless if you have your application uploaded or started on my ERAS, is that you should be sending an email out to your letter writers. So a lot of times these could be the rotations that you've already had or the rotations that you may be having in order to gain those e-slows. Okay, what you want to do is that you want to go ahead and ask them, one, are they willing to give you slow? Okay, and two, which I highly recommend in past experiences, is to ask them when they're going to be writing these letters, are they going to be giving you a favorable letter? Okay, because you want something that is going to be strong on your application and not something that is just a mediocre letter of experience. Okay, so that's something to take a
Absolutely.
look at. So what you would do is when you're on the residency cast, inputting information under the LOR section is that you would actually physically put in a formal request. You put in the email of the individual that will be writing your eSLO. Okay, so for example, if it's a hospital in Illinois, there might be a coordinator that's there or who's going to be actually writing the letter. Put in that doctor's name, sometimes program director, sometimes somebody else, assistant or associate program director, their name and their email address. So you need to know that information. And like I said, you want to send them a previous email from your own personal email first saying, just to let you know, I'll be sending you a formal invite in order to upload my eSlow onto ResidencyCAS in the near future, in the next few days or what have you. Okay, so that they've gotten a preempt email to say that you're going to be doing this so they can get ready. And then two, you can look to see that it's been updated and they've got that formal request through ResidencyCAS.
Absolutely. Yes. And I think you're allowed to put about 40 letters in, but you can only submit or assign, I believe, 3 to 4. So that's up to your choice in the program as well, but up to 3 or 4 letters are just fine.
That's right. So a lot of programs, the majority of programs, they usually say one ESLO. Just to remind everybody, an ESLO is an emergency medicine standard letter of evaluation. And this letter is from a residency program that you have rotated at. So you've done a 4-week sub-internship rotation at a program or a hospital, academic institution that also has an emergency medicine residency. Okay, so there are other slows that you can get, but preferably you want to have a minimum of one e-slow, preferably two, because there are some programs that do request that you have two. Okay, and then beyond that, you could have an OSLO, which is a letter from emergency medicine rotation, but that did not have a residency. You could have an OSLO is also, say, for example, an internal medicine doctor that did it, but they can gain access on Cord in order to write you an OSLO. So it's other service, kind of a doctor that is not emergency medicine certified has written that letter. And then you can also potentially get a subspecialty SLO. So these are things in fellowships of emergency medicine like toxicology or even ultrasound that you could get slow, but they do not have the same weight as the E slow. Okay, and all this information, like I said, will be on a link on our site and on our PowerPoint presentation, especially with the EMRA Court Advising Students Guide in regards to the difference of the slows and how they are uploaded and put into the new system.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think those are the general questions that would be addressed. If you have any further questions, you can definitely call ResidencyCAS. They are open and available to take your call. They do understand that there's going to be high volumes due to the changes. So they are willing and ready to work with you. One thing I already know is that they do not have a parallel system with ERAS. So if you are a prior applicant, or let's say you had your letters saved, unfortunately, they do not go over to ResidencyCAS. You're going to have to request your letter writers to re-upload that again. But if you're an IMG and you already have an MSPE and your transcript, I believe ECFMG will be able to upload those. So I don't believe you have to go back to your school. But again, obviously, you can call ResidencyCAS to make sure that information is up to date and just see how you can transition through this. So I know this is a stressful time for everyone and also an exciting time. And to have to learn a whole new system on top of applying, it's not fun, but definitely reach out to your OBGYN friends who may have already done ResidencyCAS. And yeah, tune into our resources and our webinar. And if you have any other personal questions or just want to talk to us, we are there. Our names are on the website as well, and we are happy to help.
You got
Is
it.
there
So
anything
in
else
the
you'd like to say?
actual,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks, Shantae. So what we'll
Yep.
do, that's a good point, is that if anybody has the questions and trying to tackle a new thing is always greater and more numbers. So in the actual PowerPoint presentation, I will make sure that we attach both myself and Shantae's email address. So if you'd like to have any questions or if you have any concerns about anything, most certainly we will have that there and we will be ready, willing to answer any questions that you have about the new system. Okay, the best thing to do, start early, get your documents uploaded early so you know if you have any issues or problems, because then you have lots of time that you can review it before you submit it.
Absolutely. All
Great.
right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Till next time in the life of, presented by the AAEM RSA International Committee. Thanks, everyone.